Well, ladies and dudes, it is time for me to talk about the extended cut edition of Angels and Demons. And yeah, you could say it's a silly old 2.0 thing, whatever you want to call it. But there is one important thing that everybody forgot to talk about for this movie version of Angels and Demons. And something that Mr. Dan Brown had never thought about that came from in the book. Something I'm very disappointed about. There is one forgotten plot twist that nobody had never talked about in the whole entire story. Something that the movie version does have that the book doesn't have. I guess you want to know what this most mysterious plot twist is. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 1987. This is my review for today. And today, tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I just can't stop watching this movie. This is one of my most favorite movies of all time, and truly one of the best films I have ever watched for my whole entire career for film history, I guess. And to tell you the truth is, I have never talked about the extended cut version of Angels and Demons. And yeah, this is what the picture looks like, and it's a lot darker than the theatrical one. And yeah, the best part I like about this movie, well, since it's extended cut wise, there's a couple of scenes here and there that was left out in the theatrical wise. Yeah, surprisingly to say. And it's only for 8 minutes, and 8 minutes only. 8 minutes of some extra scenes here and there that was left out from the theatrical version. So anyway, for my today's movie review is I gotta redo my movie review of Angels and Demons. And to tell you the truth is, Angels and Demons is one of the movies I did review from last year, and it's one of my best movie reviews of all time. And I promise I'll leave my best version alone, you know, the one that featured the theatrical version and also the book and some interesting fun facts you should know about this movie from here and there. But there's still more things to talk about in this movie, that's for sure. So let's go ahead and get this started anyway. So without further ado, ladies and dudes, here is my redo movie review of Angels and Demons, the extended cut version. So here we go. So, what the heck I should say about the main plot of the story? It's a story about a professor dude named Robert Linden who has to go to Rome along with this scientist lady named Victoria. They have to join forces with a couple of those Swiss Guard dudes here and there to try to solve some mysteries here and there about angels and demons alike. And they gotta do this crazy scavenger hunting thing about find the 4 missing cardinals who will become the next pope. And sadly, one of them is going to get killed in 1 hour only. And it's up to Robert Landon to try to rescue those dudes in time from 1 hour time in some areas here and there in Rome. And they gotta be careful of this assassin dude who's gonna take one of them down to the count. You know, like an hourglass thingy-majig or whatever. Well, it's hard for me to say. And yes, ladies and dudes, there's gonna be an interesting plot twist that nobody sees coming. Not the plot twist that came from Ewan McGregor, but a very forgotten plot twist that nobody had never talked about from Mr. Tom Hanks, who played the main character himself. So, that's my whole entire what I want to say about the main plot of the story of Angels and Demons. So I guess everybody wants to know is what the heck do I think about this movie? Well, to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, it's still one of my favorite movies even to this day. It's perfectly well done, perfectly well told, and I will say the movie version is way better than the book. Hands down. Well, because of one interesting thing and one interesting thing only. The main plot twist of the whole entire storyline. Something that nobody has seen coming. So yeah, this is a great movie to watch. Hands down. It does have a well done storyline. It has very good, likable, and enjoyable characters. It has so many great scenes here and there that really did blow me away from start to finish. It has some good dialogues here and there I do enjoy. And yeah, great sceneries and highlight moments of the film. It had a really good epic score. But I will say the best part about this movie that I love the best is the main plot twist of the whole entire movie. Something that has something to do with the main character himself. Yep, that's for sure. So let's head on to the strongest points and the weakest points of Angels and Demons. I will keep that weakest point alone, you know, about the part where Robert Linden got soaking wet and he didn't have time to put on some dry clothes. I wish there was a part in the movie where he needs to put on some dry clothes before he could continue on the rest of his mission to, you know, since he saved one Carnet on time, spoiler alert, he did save one Carnet in the whole entire movie, while the other three died in the whole entire film. Yeah, he didn't have time to put on some dry clothes and get out of those wet ones. And he has to continue on the mission and find that little piece, you know, this canister here and there that has a tiny light in it. And Victoria's going to come by and help him out. That's for sure. And I guess everybody wants to know, what do you think of the brand new scenes that they did add in this film? You know, some of the parts that was left out in the theatrical version. I really did enjoy those scenes very darn much. I love every single one of them. But I'd rather go with the ones that feature Robert Linden in it. Some of the parts that was left out of the film. Like, you see Robert Linden in his tighty whities after when he's doing his swimming practice thing. And get introduced to the Mickey Mouse watch. That was pretty darn interesting. You know, getting to the bottom ground library thing. And also some of the parts that featured Priest Robert Linden. Some of the scenes I really did enjoy. I just like the part where he got heartbroken about his bodyguards, you know, dying at church for what that assassin dude had done to them. And he really does care about those dudes very much, even if he knew them for a short period of time. Yeah, that short period of time. So yeah, I really do enjoy those scenes very much, and you should see this movie for yourself. That's for sure. And now let's head on to the strongest point in the movie. No matter what, ladies and dudes, I'll always love the underwater sequence very darn much. It is one of the best scenes in the whole entire movie, where Robert Linden has taken a risk of going in the fountain, try to save that Carnet dude's life, and he's going to do the best he can to keep him alive at all costs before he drowns to death in the fountain. Yeah, that's for sure. Alright. Time for the real strongest point in the whole entire movie. And this is the most surprising one of all. Is Robert Linden's storyline. I will say Robert Linden's storyline for Angels and Demons is really the best part I love about this movie. They gave him a great storyline from start to finish. I guess you want to know why. Okay, here we go. Pay attention to these two pictures. One is him as a professor, while the other is when he disguised himself as a priest. He became a professor in daylight, and he becomes a priest by nighttime. But there's one interesting plot twist that nobody had never talked about for this great underrated film. It's this picture. Where is that important plot twist that nobody has seen coming, Mr. Dan Brown? Something that wasn't in the book. I'm going to show you these pictures again. Yep. So overall, ladies and dudes, the main plot twist of Angels and Demons is that Robert Lyndon did become an angel and demon himself. It's true. You will know about those two forms. Robert Lyndon, as a professor, is known as the angel form. And when Robert Lyndon became a priest, a professor in disguise, he becomes a demon. So, professor in the daylight and a priest as a demon by nighttime. So let's strike that, reverse it. He becomes a professor at the daylight in his angel form, and he disguises himself as a priest at nighttime while he becomes a demon. But there's only one thing that the angel and demon have, one thing in common, one thing only. He needs to remain in his human form, no matter what. This is serious. This is a very serious moment in the whole entire movie. That's for sure. I don't know why Dan Brown had never thought about the idea in the first place before he made his very first book that started it all. Yep. Did anybody get shocked about this plot twist of the story? I know, everybody's kind of loud, or you have no idea what the heck you're going to say about all this. But it is true that Robert Lyndon is going to become the most biggest foreshadowing moment in the whole entire story, where he has two forms in one whole day. But this is the only time he'll ever do it, and he'll never become that form ever again. And that's the reason why Angels and Demons is the most interesting movie of all, out of all the three films that came from in the Robert Lyndon series. Yep. That's for sure. I guess you want to know what's my main thoughts about the other characters of Angels and Demons. I do like Victoria. She's a really cool lady. I'm glad that she's not really a damsel of distress in the whole entire film. She did become the main helper of the story, and she did help out Robert Lyndon all the way through from start to finish. I do like the leader of the Swiss Guard army. I forgot his name. I think it's Richter, I think. He's a pretty good leader, but he's not all that bad once you get to know him. And yeah, Ewan McGregor did a pretty good job playing a priest dude. While he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. If you guys get the picture. And I'll go ahead and tell you about my final thoughts about this film. Overall, Angels and Demons will always be one of my most favorite films of all time, hands down. It's a great near masterpiece film to watch. It had a good storyline, likable characters, it has good cinematography, a great epic score, great sceneries and highlight moments of the film, and the plot twist is so darn shocking for all of us. Something that nobody had never noticed right away. And I like this version much better than the book. That's for sure. And it still remains a 9.5 out of 10. And that's my whole entire movie review of the extended cut version of Angels and Demons. I hope you enjoyed this movie review. And tell me, ladies and dudes, we'll strike that, reverse it. What is your favorite movie character of all time that featured in a foreshadowing moment? Well, whichever of these characters are, just leave a comment there and let me know. And for me, I really love Otto 1 from Spider-Man No Way Home. Otto 1 deserves to be one of the best foreshadowing characters of all time. And he became the most useful character in the whole entire movie. Something that'll be way too hard for me to explain. That's for sure. So, I'll see you all later, and sayonara.